Al-Falah University, on paper, is a campus for medical research and science. But deep within, what appears is that it is facing questions on terrorism. Long before the university's links to the Red Fort blast and the terror module became public, the varsity had been now being called a breeding ground, perhaps, for radical activities. Several of its former students are under the scanner, and at least one of them was involved in the 2008 serial blasts. Here's a special report explaining how Al-Falah was being used as perhaps a den of terror activities.
A trail of blood and death extends from the Red Fort blast all the way to the Al-Falah University at Delhi's doorsteps. The university, now at the heart of a suicide attack, white-collar terror module and money laundering investigations, is facing serious scrutiny. But Dr. Umar, the suspected suicide bomber who blew up with the Hyundai i20, is not the only terrorist linked to Al-Falah. Mirza Shadab Beg, a notorious member of the Indian Mujahideen, also studied in the suspected terror hub. Beg, a resident of Azamgarh, completed his B.Tech in Electronics and Instrumentation at Al-Falah University in 2007. He was likely a student when he first became involved in planning the 2008 serial blasts across India, including the Gorakhpur, Ahmedabad and Jaipur. He remains at large despite a massive manhunt. Al-Falah University Chairman Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui is also under scanner after being arrested for money laundering. His three-story house in Madhya Pradesh's Mau has been declared illegal, with demolition orders issued. The links to terrorist activities have cast a dark shadow over Al-Falah. Over 200 doctors and staff are under investigation. Hostels and off-campus rooms rented by doctors and students have been raided, and deleted mobile data is under scanner. More than 1,000 have already been questioned. As investigations continue, more questions are being raised about Al-Falah's role in fostering a terror ecosystem. With Arvind Ojha and Shayad Chatterjee, Bureau Report, India Today.
News coming in now that 4 accused has been now sent to the NIA custody for 10 days. NIA gets custody of 3 doctors and 1 Maulvi who are linked to the Delhi blast. Total 6 held by NIA in Delhi Red Fort blast case. This includes Dr. Muzammil, Dr. Adil and Dr. Shaheen, who were arrested from Srinagar. Cleric who radicalized youth was also arrested. So now the NIA, that is the chief investigating agency, which is interrogating and coordinating with various states and the state police and overseeing the entire investigation, has got custody of 4 people who are suspects here, 3 doctors, 1 Maulvi. Among those who have been arrested are Dr. Muzammil, Dr. Adil and Dr. Shaheen. Remember, Dr. Shaheen was arrested as well, and there is also a cleric who was radicalized. It's believed to be someone who was radicalizing youth, has also been arrested. So this arrest becomes important, and the investigation particularly will reveal what really went into Dr. Umar's mind and who were involved in the entire terror nexus, as we have been talking about. Remember, the first set of arrests were made much before the Delhi terror blast, which happened on that day, and thereafter there has been the sense that there is a lot happening in terms of how the youth have been radicalized, and the larger video, when it was revealed a section which perhaps reveals the truth of what could have been going on in this, what is being called as a white-collar ecosystem. Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, joins us. Ejaz Wani is fellow in the Strategic Studies program at ORF. He's also an expert of counter-terrorism. We have Major Jolly joining us as well. Let me begin with you, Ejaz. These arrests become crucial, but also the role of the university. Can universities ensure that there has to be a particular kind of monitoring and perhaps background checks which have to be carried out before admission, and perhaps even when the students are on campus, some necessary checks are put in place.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on show. It is not about monitoring universities. We have to frame a policy because in South Asia, we feel that we will take a Western model and implement on India or any other South Asian countries. That is bound to fail. We have to see whether from the society these radicalized elements come. That is the first question. Government has to see. It is not we Kashmiris will go to any other university, to Delhi University and JNU. So, and then police will start integrating them about their previous history and other things. That will alienate Kashmiri youth. That will alienate the Kashmiri youth, which have been come to mainstream after 2019. You see, after 2019, most of the Kashmiri youth gave up the culture of gun, culture of violence, culture of stone pelting, culture of strikes. And now, if we will start making more interrogative efforts to see what they are doing.
Okay, let me bring in Vikram Singh now. Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. The investigation is going on, but we have been talking about universities. I am seriously of the opinion that the entire university cannot be painted with the same brush. There are a number of students at these campuses. There are a number of them who are bad apples, but the entire university should not be painted as being a terror hub.
Good evening, Marya, and good evening, my esteemed fellow panelists. I totally agree with your observation. To paint the entire university black perhaps would not be in the best interest of the education as well. But this particular university is exceptional because the very foundation and the promoters, they themselves are painted black. A person who has served for 3 years in Tihar had no business to get government grants also. And this university has not only facilitated the launchpad for terrorism, but also has been instrumental in getting and faking the certification in the university, like the NAC certification, as also the UGC certification. They put up documents which were absolutely irrelevant and faked and doctored documents to get the certification in possession. Under these circumstances, when you feel that an ecosystem has been created, wherein people like Dr. Shaheen, who were the head of Jamaat ul Momina, and Dr. Nasrullah Hussain, who were discharged from service or dismissed from service under the provisions of 311 of the Constitution of India. What was the reason to hire him in Al-Falah University? He was dismissed from service for anti-national activities. We should not have touched him with a barge pole, but the very fact that we hired him, a person who has been dismissed for anti-national activities, these are loud questions which have to be addressed. To your first question, to the first esteemed speaker, can the universities do? I'm in a private university here in the NCR. And there are things that we do to ensure that we get affidavits. We have our own system to see and check that the children are free from malignant influence. We have large number of Kashmiri boys and girls studying with us, and they are second to none. They are the best, and many of the children address me as Abba. I think we must have done something absolutely right to get that kind of affection and loyalty to myself and to all of us. But love begets love, and hate begets hate. I'm saying something that I have put into practice for 15 years. एक दफा मोहब्बत तो लेके निकलिए रास्ते में तुम्हें कोई दुश्मन न मिलेगा. This is what I've been told. And as an educational, I'm an educationist today. I was a police officer 15 years ago, and I feel it has to be policing can come, but in a very subtle manner.
Okay.
The Kashmiri youth and the Kashmiris have to be with us in the fight against terrorism.
Yes. And let's believe that they are with us, and that's what the display of the Kashmiris has been, that they have condemned whenever there are terror activities, because that's happening from across the border. Major Jolly, when you look at the entire investigation, and of course we are talking about a white-collar ecosystem, that's certainly a matter of huge concern because, but again, as we have been saying, it's not new. In the past, there are several radicalized terrorists who have taken the most extreme steps. They have been involved in terror activities.
Yeah, good evening, Marya, and good evening to both co-panelists. I'll just make a quick comment on what the first panelist was saying, that we cannot put the template of university in India and it will fail. Sorry, but hundreds and thousands of universities, schools, and colleges are running just fine. If you find a source where radicalization is happening, and now I'll come to what you were talking to the DGB sir, that yes, the university has to be blamed, because the thing is, it is one student does not represent the whole university, but when you have series of incidents happening, it's a pattern. It means that's a platform on which everything happens, and because the educationists, as well as now it's a medical doctors also, engineers coming from there doing B.Tech, M.Techs, are coming out with a mindset that they, and so excessive of radicalization that they're ready to become suicide bombers. It means there is something wrong happening there. You see, radicalization is the raw material on which terrorism is built. If it has been imparted at a university at such level, there will be many shades of it. There will be some people who go out with a strong thought, and there will be some who will be coming out ready to blow themselves up. But the process is on, and Alfala University becomes the center of it all. So it is not a kind of carpet bombing, but it is very precise strike actually on the university. And then you have the founder also, who's a questionable entity. He has been found in scams. He has fake documents. So I would say this white collar term which has come is very apt for this kind of educational institutes also. Those who are, and there must be hundreds of them. I'm very sure of that. If you treat a radical madrasa as an educational institute, they are engaged in this. And there are hundreds and thousands of children or youth going through same, ideological, forceful training right now. And Alfala also would have been on radar when the person was caught in 2008. It is just we do lack manpower and resources of keeping everyone under radar all the time, and it only peaks when something like this happens. So I would investigation should not limit itself to just the terrorists and their acquaintances. I think a very deep dive is required into this university, the sources of funding, the supporters, and who actually allowed the doctor to get employment again here when he was terminated from Srinagar on terror attacks, because you need approvals from medical authorities, state council, state medical board to have these appointments. So who bypassed that? Is that a person? It's a digital lapse, or how did this guy get employed?
Yes.
So these are the things that
Yes,
should be looked
you've
into.
raised an important point there, and also the question would be about, has there been some kind of misuse of the laboratories there? If the university head has been arrested, then what was the role of the entire university? Did he know, or did he know about the appointment of particularly those who have been, fired from other university and getting a place here as a faculty member? Ejaz, these are all a subject of investigation, and perhaps only the investigation will reveal the truth. But till then, should we be circumspect? Shouldn't we be circumspect then?
Yes, which see, I am feeling ashamed being a Kashmiri now because I live in Mumbai. It should not be reactionary. There should be larger measures to curtail this thing. Because on the one side, we see larger integration of Kashmiris with mainland India. Supposed to be army is going for making tours of students, of Kashmiri students to different parts of the India. And on the other side, if we will see them through the lens of this incident, that can sabotage all the integration process that has happened from 2019. I will give you the best example. After Pahalgam attack, which was done by Pakistan, most of the youth was on street on that night protesting against Pakistani terrorism, protesting against that incident. And next day, first time in the history of Kashmir, there was complete strike against terrorism. There may be bad apples within the society. We have to shun them out. We have to make a policy how we can arrest them, how we can make their life miserable, but not at the cost of national integration. That is what I am saying.
Okay.
On,
Okay.
let me get another point. If in Kashmir, anyone gets employment either in private sector or in government sector, he gets an NOC from CID, police, and every department. That all the universities all over India can do. They can get an affidavit plus an certificate from the J&K police, which is on forefront tackling terrorism from last 30 years. That is my argument.
Okay. Please respond to this, Major Jolly.
See, that's what I'm trying to say. Who gave the NOC? That is should be asked. If he's and the thing is, when as government employees, and Mr. Singh would agree with me, we both have been government employees. When we move on deputations or when we leave a department, you are given a release letter. When you are terminated, you're not given a release letter. And to join the next place of duty, like this guy moved from Srinagar to Alfala, who asked him, where is your release letter? Because he was terminated. And still, if he was employed, so who bypassed that? Because these documents are supposed to be given to the medical council in state and in Ministry of Health also. So this is how, Marya, the ecosystem works. The ecosystem of OGWs is enabler of terrorists. They make sure you find the right candidate, give him support, give him training,
Okay, I'm
and
just
make sure he
hoping
becomes
Munish
a terrorist.
Pandey will join me any moment now, and I'll give him the last word. Please go ahead. I exactly have 30 seconds for you. Please go ahead, Major Jolly.
Yeah, and last thing I was saying, what Mr. Syed was saying, that there is a reason, nobody's saying anything against Kashmiris. But the point is, if everybody is coming from there, from last 30, 40 years, and the radicals, the OGWs, the system and the society has to look onto that. I'll give you a small example. I come from a city of Rohtak in Haryana. I can dare anybody to fly a flag of Pakistan and say, Pakistan Zindabad in that city. But if you see people doing that in Kupada or Baramulla or Srinagar, the residents won't even bat an eyelid. They say, fine, whatever is going on. That is the difference. That is why this radicalization prospers. It's on the common people to stop it. It's on the people who are residents there to stop this kind of thing. And that is when it will change, actually.
Okay. Go ahead, Vikram Singh.
Marya, I would say that Al-Falah University has exposed horrible fault lines in our defense mechanism and structure, and also what we would have done much better. Whereas the Srinagar police gave an excellent account of itself in identifying both the doctors and also the posters, and that followed it up so vigorously that they saved the country from a major catastrophe. But the Faridabad police was an unmitigated disaster. I would say that I'm very disappointed by their not putting adequate things in surveillance. The university itself had a lot of introspection to do because they picked up the wrong kind of people, provided an ecosystem and a platform for the right kind of people to work there and also operate with impunity. Now, the question of using the laboratory and the library and all the infrastructure of Al-Falah University for a devious purpose, again, that is a matter of investigation. But my guess and my experience says that indeed it was used for devious purposes, and therefore the NIA would do very well to question
Let me
each and
thank
every
all the guests
employee.
and go straight to Munish, who has been tracking this entire story and all the developments very closely. Munish, thank you for joining us, and apologies we could not connect with you earlier on the show. Please go ahead and give us all the details that you have. This is an important investigation which is going on, the role of multiple agencies. Do you think it all leads to Al-Falah University?
Well, Marya, it is now a multi-agency probe, and all the agencies, including the NIA and the Enforcement Directorate, they are working on multiple, angles. Now, as far as NIA is concerned, now the arrest has gone to 6. Apart from those 4 arrests which were earlier made by the Jammu and Kashmir police, and I was able to crack down the network, and they have arrested 2 key players of this entire terror module, and that is going to be very significant as far as this terror module and the investigation against these accused are concerned. As far as Enforcement Directorate is concerned, Marya, they are now doing a financial crackdown. The founder of Al-Falah University, Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui, he has been arrested, and ED, in 2 days of investigation, they were able to identify proceeds of crime worth more than 415 crore rupees. And according to sources within the Enforcement Directorate, now they are trying to track down the financial transactions linked to Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui and the terrorists who have been arrested by the NIA, because there is a suspicion that the money which was being collected by Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui, that money might have been given to the terrorists. The terror network was being funded using the same money. So this is a multi-agency probe, Marya, but both these agencies have been able to, make a dent as far as the investigation is concerned, make a dent as far as this entire module, their nexus and link with Pakistan is concerned. Marya.
Manish, really appreciate your time. Thank you for all the updates that you have. We'll keep coming to you with all the news breaks that you have been bringing to us. That's all from me.